This is the warning. The Secretary of Transportation is a real-world cast member, and you certainly wouldn't have been able to tell from Reagan National Airport.
Obviously, it is not standard to have aircraft collide. I want to be clear on that.
Now, over at the White House, let's listen to a question, and then I want to do an exercise. But first, the question.
On DEI and the claims that you've made, are you saying this crash was somehow caused and the result of diversity hiring?
Yes, that's what he's saying. A plane crashed in the Potomac River coming in for a landing. An Army helicopter, a Black Hawk, flew into it. You can see the explosion. 62 people died. And Donald Trump said they were killed by DEI. He didn't know anything when he said it about any facts except for that there was a tragedy, the first one involving an airplane going down in the United States of America since 2009 in Buffalo. Now, why is it that the national media, the White House press corps, cannot comprehend English words put together into sentences? Here's what I mean. Cat, yarn, couch. The cat plays with yarn on the couch. Dog, man, ball. Man throws the ball for the dog. You get what I'm trying to tell you. There's a cat playing with yarn on a couch, and there's a man throwing a ball for a dog. Do you need any more information to comprehend what it is you're seeing? Like the unseen White House reporter? Let's play it again.
On DEI and the claims that you've made, are you saying this crash was somehow caused and the result of diversity hiring? And what evidence have you seen to support these claims?
It just could have been.
Yes, that is what he said. Knowing no facts, no details, lives snuffed out in an instant, families waiting a mile or so away at the airport for their loved ones who are dead in an instant. And Donald Trump was the first to say, hey, I know what happened, when in fact, he had no idea what happened. He is the man who claims to know all while knowing nothing at all. He claims to know all things about everything, everywhere, all at once.
That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
How did you react when you heard the news about an American Airlines flight going down, coming in for landing at Reagan National Airport? Did it make you feel sick? Made me feel sick. Not Donald Trump, though, and not the White House staff. What they thought is, how can we take advantage of this? There is burning wreckage on the river, and Donald Trump is thinking, what can I get out of this? How can I use it? The death and the misery and the suffering as a prop in my sick game. And so Donald Trump reacted with this.
The FAA, which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg, a real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run this Department of Transportation? He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit.
And this.
You're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
What Donald Trump is saying is there was a black guy somewhere around, or maybe worse, a black woman, or a Hispanic even. Somebody, some minority, they did it. They killed those people. We are in dangerous hours, my friends. There is no issue, nothing, that the man won't politicize for a bit more power. In that instant, when there is a plane crash, the Situation Room at the White House fills. The Department of Transportation, experts and specialists get busy. But 2 weeks in, what Donald Trump has done is fire the head of the FAA, talked about moving planes around like a chessboard, said something completely wrong.
This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time and they're all coming in different directions.
That airplanes are taking off and landing in all different contradictory directions. Not true at an airport. Take off and land in the same direction. Basic information. But for Donald Trump, even the most basic information, it's calculus. We, in our infinite wisdom, on the edge of the 250th year of our independence, have elected to the office of President of the United States the foremost imbecile amongst us. We have made him the most powerful man in the world and given him its most powerful bully pulpit to spew his malice and to spew his venom and his idiocies and to cast blame and immunize all of his supporters from a fundamental reality. More often than not, if they experience failure in their lives, it's not your fault, it's theirs. Or that when an accident happens, a tragedy occurs, that it's occurred because people in this country who didn't have opportunities once have them now. And because they do, some white people are dead. Even though Donald Trump has no idea who was on that plane. And it shouldn't matter. They were human beings. And they were loved by their mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and children, and moms and dads. And this disgusting grotesquerie of a president from the White House cannot restrain himself from lying about it for 30 seconds. MAGA! It feels great to win, doesn't it? Let's appreciate. 4 years is going to feel like 40 at our current pace. And yet, this must be resisted. And it must be opposed. And yet everywhere, the sounds of silence. CBS News, about to be controlled by one of the richest men in the world, Larry Ellison, is getting ready to serve up 60 Minutes on a silver platter to Trump, along with many tens of millions of dollars, as his administration now investigates NPR, investigates PBS. Donald Trump will brook no criticism and tolerate no dissent. He has given his orders to snuff it out. The billionaires who control the information we all receive have complied. Mostly the news anchors have gotten in line. And what you're told is that the dumbest questions conceivably formulated, shot to a 27-year-old on Conflict TV, are somehow a journalism that matters to you, keeps you safe, and that you should care about. What you should care about is when an airplane that any one of us could have been on any given day went down. President of the United States instinct wasn't to, I don't want that to ever happen again during my term. No, it was, how am I going to use it against the American people? How am I going to use it to point a finger and say that somewhere there's a minority to blame? That's what he did. And if that's what making America great again means, then make America great again is what it has always been, just a bit more clearly now, a lie. And each day, the lie will become clearer, support for that lie will drop. The great tragedy right now isn't the lie, and it's not the lying, it's that when the inevitable happens, and this MAGA filth crashes, there's nothing better waiting to replace it. Where are you, Chuck? Going to work today? Going to offer any resistance? Because none of us can hear you. None of us can hear any of you. This is The Warning. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is The Warning, and I invite you to subscribe on our Substack, on our YouTube channel. Follow us. Welcome to the community.